So I have been just lately been going through this old book that was given to me by my grandmother. It's called the Book of Fate. It's the Royal Book of Fortune Telling. So it's like it's poor old thing. It's so old. It's falling apart. It's 1870. It's got a lot of spells in there that people would do, especially young women would do around that time. So this is over 150 years ago. It has a lot of dream analysis in there. It has ways of doing divination, like finding out different answers. And so they used to do things like where moles were positioned on your body, they had certain significance. Or when you watch the animals, watch patterns of animals. So a lot of nowadays we would probably say like it's an old wives' tale, but these things were quite prevalent in the time and had a lot of validity to them, and also people like had something to hang on to. Like today when we use psychics and we use astrology and we use things to something to give us hope, they would have used the same sort of things back then. So what I've done is I've taken a few out of the book and written them down to share with you. So the first one is about fortunate days of the week and month. So the day that you were born, the day of the week that you were born, is one of the best days for you if you're going to undertake something. So let's say you were born on a Monday. In the future, when you go to do big things, plan it on a Monday. Or if you're born on a Thursday, Thursday's your lucky day. So the day of the week that you were born is fortunate for you when you want to do things throughout your life. The first, the third, the fifth, or the ninth day of any month is really good to receive a letter. So if you're expecting a letter to come, if it shows up on the first, the third, the fifth, or the ninth, it's got good connotations to it. The first week in May is fortunate for new plans for men. The second week in May is fortunate for plans for women. June is a good month for proposals or weddings or contracts. Some event of importance seems to befall a woman in her 31st year. So the year that you've turned 31. If you've already way past the age of 31, if you think back, did anything significant happen to you in the year that you were 31? And for men, it's the year that they turn 42. The first 3 days after a new moon is good for signing papers. The 24th is a good day for new starts or undertakings. What's this one say? It's not fortunate to marry on your birthday if you are a woman, but it is okay if you're a man and you get married on your birthday. And it's fortunate to be born on a Sunday. There was also a little thing down the bottom of the book that said, never tell a dream until you have eaten. And if you have the same dream 2 or 3 times, it will come to pass. So that was a few things about the days. Then there was seeing animals. So you know when you see a lot of ants and they're all gathering together, you know that there's rain coming. I'm just going to put my glasses on for this one because it's small writing. So and it's sort of like when there's silence of birds, that you normally hear lots of birds, that there's a sign there's a storm coming. So here's a few other ones. When you leave your house, if you see a bird come fly from the right side, that's a good omen. But if a bird flies from the left side in front of you, it's not going to mean that your trip's going to be that great. It's not going to be such a great outing. If a bird flies in front of you, so it's flying in front of you and it's come from the right side and it's flying in front of you and staying in front of you, that is good for business dealings. If you are sitting on a bench somewhere, sitting outside, and a bird flies in and it lands and it sits on your right side and then it gets your attention, that is a good sign of profits coming. If you stumble when you're going out your front door, like you trip or you hit your foot on something as you're going out the front door, it's probably a good idea to go back inside and try to delay your travels, because it's not a good omen to do that. If a crow or a raven is sitting alone and it's just like over and over, beware that someone is speaking ill of you. I know there used to be, I got taught when I was young that if you hear a crow doing that, then there was a sign that someone was going to die. But crows don't, that never happens for me. For me, it's owls. If I have an owl come to visit me, somebody is going to pass away. So I think that can differ with different people. But yeah, I totally understand if you've got a crow sitting there squawking at you, that somebody is talking about you, but they're not saying nice things about you. If you hear a rooster crow, not in the morning, but during the day, if you just hear a rooster crow, that means that visitors are going to show up. If a grasshopper jumps and sort of lands at you, or just jumps in front of you, that indicates that you have a journey coming up. So you're going to have to take a trip. That might even be an unexpected trip. If you see a spider weaving a web and it's weaving downward, that's a sign of money coming for you. And also ants, if you see ants making a nest at an entrance of your house, the back door or the front door, wherever you come in and go from your home, if they're making a nest at the door, that's an indication that they are storing. And see, ants are amazing at getting through a difficult, like not a difficult time for them, but they're very good at storing their food supplies and protecting themselves. And so that's an indication that during a certain phase when there is some difficulties, you will still be looked after. So there will still be enough food, there will still be enough money when you go through a difficult time, if you see an ant's nest at the door. So that was a few of the ones on the animals or ants or insects, and how that can be a sign for you. And the other one was moles on your body. So like having a mole on a certain part of your body. So a mole on the right side of your forehead, on your temple area, is a person will come into sudden wealth. Unfortunately, I don't have a mole. I don't have a mole there. A mole on the right eyebrow indicates a speedy marriage. A mole on the left temple or on the eyebrow is that plans will lead to disappointment. A mole on either cheek signifies a mediocre life. Every time you try to do something, it never really goes really like high or famous, or it never really goes low either. It's mediocre. A mole on the nose signifies success in plans. A mole on the lips is a person fond of delicate things and just loves the whole idea of love and will be successful. A mole on the chin is a person attended great prosperity and highly esteemed. A mole on the throat indicates wealth by marriage. A mole on the right breast signifies lots of children, mainly girls. A mole on the left is mainly boys. A mole under the left breast of a man indicates a man who is flippant and light in his conduct. For a woman, a mole under her left breast is easy conception and childbirth. A mole on the right on the rib cage is someone who is slow to understand things. I was just a bit slow myself then. Someone who's slow to understand things. A mole on your belly denotes a lazy person who loves food. I think these are quite cute. A mole on either hip denotes a lot of children around a person. So it doesn't have to mean that it's their children. It means they've got a lot of children. Probably like a school teacher or something. These last two are a bit easy, hard to read. A mole on the right thigh shows a person who becomes wealthy in marriage. A mole on the left thigh is struggles with money and friends. A mole on the right knee is a person fortunate in their choice of partner. A mole on the left knee is a person rash in decisions leading to disappointment. And a mole on the ankle denotes elegance and courage. So, yeah, I thought they were quite fascinating. I was telling this story the other day about there is little spells in here that you can do. And when I was, I think I was about 20, 21, I was living with my partner at the time, but we weren't married. And there was a spell in here to see if you were going to get married, and you had to get 9 peas and thread them onto a piece of string and hang them above your door. The next single person that came in and stood under the peas would be the person that you married. So a girlfriend of mine at the time decided we would do this because it was a Saturday afternoon, and hey, we had nothing better to do. So I got 9 frozen peas out of the freezer and got a needle and thread and put 9 peas onto this piece of cotton, and I hung it above the back door because that's where everyone came to visit at our house. Anyway, it was hanging there for a bit, and we were chatting away, and we heard a car pulling up. Me thinking this is going to be my partner that comes in. He'll be standing under the peas, and yes, I'll end up marrying him. Anyway, we heard a knock at the door, and I thought, that's probably not my partner because he wouldn't knock. So I just yelled out, "Come in." And this guy opened the back door, and he was standing under the peas, and he was a stock agent that had come to look at our cows that we were thinking of selling at the market. So he's standing under the peas, and I'm trying so hard to have a serious face, but I find it hard to have a serious face. So I was sort of giggling, laughing, and he's, "What are you laughing at?" Not nothing. It was just I didn't want to tell him that he was standing under the peas. He was actually single at the time too, so. But I didn't end up marrying him. I ended up marrying the guy that I was living with at the time, but it was just funny. And I thought, well, it's actually, if you don't take these spells too seriously, they can be quite funny. So you may want to try it if you're a single woman or man out there and you want to know if you are going to get married and who it's going to be. Try the 9 peas over a door. Maybe you could do it at your workplace and see who's standing under the peas, just as a bit of fun. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of all the stuff that's in this book. And I guess, if they used to write about things like that and people were reading about it, that's where the old wives' tales come from. Like an itchy right palm is money coming your way, itchy left palm is money leaving you, itchy feet is travel. Itchy ears is someone's talking about you, or ringing in your ears, and ringing in your ears is someone talking about you. So yeah, I think that's where we get those beliefs from the old stories that were in the old books that were, and the old wives' tales, and the way they used to have their own little signs that they used to believe. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Thanks, and I hope everyone has a lovely day.